Hello, heroes. Joe Smith here. This is a long story here. I'm real sure where to start. Of course, just like every other commentary, topic, rant, whatever you want to call them. Nothing's wrote down, no script, nothing like that. Just kind of say it as it go. So, uh, I'll let you be the judge. I mean, you decide who's in the right, who's in the wrong. If you think Joe Smith here is in the wrong, go and post your opinion, your comments. Say how you think I should have handled it differently or better or whatever. But just start out a couple weeks ago, and had a new customer. Has his own little concrete business and has had for some time. It turns out he just lives like a side street, like literally like 2 miles down the road from the shop or that. So, I mean, he's like 5 minutes down the street basically, or that. This little side street, side neighborhood or whatever, just down the road. So really close for that. He brought a steel TS 400, I think it was, concrete saw, steel concrete saw that he's had for some time, and he thought it just lost spark all of a sudden and quit working. And I brought here, and yeah, I did. Got him checked in. Kind of did some diagnosis on it. Figured out that yeah, it must be the ignition module, the coil pack, whatever you want to call it, because I tried a different spark plug. I knew that worked, a new one, and same thing. Try spraying some carb cleaner in the carb, so it would start off that. It still wouldn't start. Did like all the other tests just to kind of rule out anything else. Kind of like a 20-30 minute diagnosis thing, and generally, yeah, it must be the ignition module. But prior to him leaving, prior to me doing all that, of course, he was saying that yeah, he's like 59 years old, fixing me 60, I think, later this year, or I'll just turn 59, I forget, but and he had like a couple of sons, but they weren't interested in taking over his concrete business, and he can't find no employees, of course. Everyone's living in poverty, everyone's starving, but yet all these companies that can't find employees that pay a living wage, of course. And he said he just like damn near 60 years old, is just can't be doing this no more. It's like wearing him out and stuff. And it's like, yeah, I can imagine. I did concrete as a teenager, wore me out as a teenager. So, told him, hey, I'm looking for people to come here and fix lawnmowers and ATVs and generators, power washers, and other stuff. It's all pretty easy because we don't really do any kind of like engine rebuilding or that on this stuff, because it's just cheaper to either put a new engine on it or just go buy a new piece of equipment or whatever. Because like a lot of the engines on this stuff, they just kind of make them so cheap and junky. If you can get like 3 years out of them, then you got your money's worth basically, and go buy a new push mower or that. So it's like it's mostly just changing oil and filters and greasing them, and belts, and maybe tires and pulleys and or spindles on riding mowers and stuff like that. Just kind of change out parts, and uh, doing basically routine maintenance on stuff, and told him that yeah, you make like $60 an hour or more doing it, and he's like, okay, well, I don't have anything scheduled for this weekend. Can come by and give it a try Saturday or that. It's like, yeah, sure, love to or that. So he's supposed to have come by Saturday, which was not just this past Saturday, but like 2 Saturdays ago at 9 a.m. 9 a.m. come and went, and he didn't show up. It was, 10:30 or 11 when he finally showed up. And it's like, oh, I didn't get done with my concrete jobs. I had finished something up this morning, and I just felt it'd be better to come tell you like face to face, man to man, this instead of like just calling or texting you and letting you know or whatever. And it's like, well, I appreciate you at least coming by. It would have been nice if you like maybe sent me a text or gave me a call like 2 hours ago, letting me know that you weren't going to make it. Or I wasn't like thinking that you're just another blow off or whatever you want to call them, like all these millennials or Gen Zers nowadays. And gave me like all pissed off and shit. He was like, I can be here like tomorrow on Sunday. This was like 2 Sundays ago, like 10 a.m. and he actually did show up the next day at 10, and I had like one riding mower to do some stuff for. Everything else was waiting on parts to come in. So he worked on that for a couple hours, and I kind of gave him a hand on some of the stuff and made sure he knew what he was doing, and showed him a couple things. And he said he learned a couple things, and he actually done pretty good, actually, really, for first day or that. I mean, he done better than people claiming to be mechanics before, really. I mean, he done better than anyone under 30 before did. His first day, especially for not really having a whole lot of experience doing it. I mean, say he had a little bit over the years, and he said he was kind of pretty good at figuring stuff out after he looked at it, and yeah, it turned out that was actually true. So it was like, okay, well, he said he had like 2 weeks of concrete jobs left, and then he'd be able to come here full time. And he might even be able to work like a little bit late afternoons, evenings, or weekends over the next 2 weeks. So this was a week ago, or a little over a week ago now. Last weekend he was saying this, or 2 weekends ago, whatever. It's like, okay, great. Here's the terms and conditions of employment. Basically, say his pay per hour that we charge customers, plus his commission for parts and that. And commission for jobs that he got or customers he got or whatever. Kind of detailed all that stuff. Basically said, like, look, we're charging the customer this much per hour. I'm taking this much an hour for either sales commission or tool usage or shop usage and office wage fee commission or whatever, and then he's getting the rest, and let him set the prices basically, or decide when it's time to raise prices. Oh, he didn't have time this past weekend. He ended up, I guess, his son was supposed to help him some the past week, and didn't show up or whatever, so he had to do stuff himself, so it took him all weekend to get done. actually stopped by um, yesterday afternoon, evening, with a pickup load of concrete chunks to kind of drop off for a little retaining wall, try and build out front with concrete chunks. So that was nice of him. Helped him unload that. He texted me, or he thought might get done early today, but he texted me late this afternoon saying, "Oh, he didn't get done early. It took him longer than he thought." And then we were kind of texting back and forth a little bit, just kind of talking about some random stuff. And he mentioned that I need to be upfront. I need to be more upfront with people over their pay. And it's like, well, what do you mean? I hand them a contract with a paragraph detailing the pay and everything underlined, and how you even spend an hour or 2 hours with them discussing this before they even start. But then I need to be more upfront about it. And it's like, well, you told me I was going to be making this hourly rate. You didn't say nothing about a tool rental fee and shop rental fee and stuff like that. It's like, well, yeah, your hourly rate that I told you were going to be making is after that's already been deducted from what the customer pays. You know, just like if you go work somewhere else. He was saying that his one son just got work at a window tinting place. Oh yeah, he's getting paid $20 an hour. It's like, oh, so they're only charging $20 an hour to do window tint at that shop? I need to take some of my stuff there. It's like, well, I'm sure they're charging more. It's like, well, yeah, I know they're charging more. They're probably charging $100 an hour or more. And they're only paying him $20 an hour because they're charging him rent for shop space and charging him sales commission, charging him for insurance, and charging him for tool use, and charging him for their secretary, office manager, whatever. And after they charge him for all that stuff, he's only 20% left. So it's only getting 20% of the gross labor charge, or less. And this concrete guy was like, well, I don't get what he's saying. I'm confused here. I don't understand stuff. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And I was like, well, you do a concrete job for someone and you charge them like $10,000 labor for the concrete job, and you're like one guy to help you do it. Do you pay the guy $5,000? If you're charging $10,000 labor plus whatever the materials, rebar, remesh, and concrete, and wood for the forms, and whatever else costs, on top of your $10,000 labor fee, are you paying your employee or your helper $5,000? No, I'm not. I'm only paying them like maybe $1,000 or $1,500. It's like, oh, so you mean you're charging them sales commission for you getting the job? For them, you're charging them HR hiring manager fee for finding them, for you taking time post ads and find them and interview them. You're charging them for using your tools. You're charging them for you providing the liability insurance and work comp or whatever, and you're charging them for you doing the office work and billing and scheduling for them, and you're charging for this and you're charging for that, and well, at first he didn't reply anything for like a couple hours, and then he just finally replied like 2 hours later that I'm out of line. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. And it's like, what do you mean? You're claiming I'm not being upfront with people with their pay? When they get paid? I'm being upfront. I'm giving them, I got it all typed out in a legal binding contract, exactly what we're charging the customer, exactly what they're getting paid. what their hourly wage is, and what my hourly wage is, and what my hourly wage covers. Whereas these other places, like this one tip place that his son worked for, I told him, they're not being upfront. He probably thinks they're only charging 25 an hour, and he's getting 20. So he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm making out good." Yeah. Why don't you tell him that they're probably charging 150 and he's only getting 20? What's he going to say then? It's like, "Well, I'm going to go on strike. I need to get paid $95 an hour like UPS drivers do." UPS drivers going on strike. They found out that the company's making on top of them, even though they're getting $65 an hour. It's like, well, the company's still making billions a year, so they can afford to pay me more than $65 an hour. You drive around in a truck wearing brown shorts. His son's getting his ass screwed and he don't even know it. He's probably working harder than UPS drivers, making 4 times as much because they're getting 65 and full benefits. So probably like $80 an hour value or more. But because the company isn't being upfront with them on what they're charging and what the pay is and all that, they're just saying, "Well, we're giving you 20 an hour, take it or leave it." It's like, my pay is percent based, so if I raise prices and they automatic, like if I raise prices 5%, then they get a 5% raise. If in 3 months time or 2 months time or 1 month's time they're twice as fast, like, well, then they're making twice as much per hour. I asked this concrete guy, it's like, well, if it's Wilmington's done in a couple months time, it's like 50% faster getting the job done, are they going to give him a 50% raise? Or he's like twice as fast, are they going double his pay? No, of course not. So if in a couple months time he becomes twice as fast as what he does, he's going to get a 50% cut in pay. I mean, technically speaking, because he's going to be doing twice the work for the same pay. He's going to be generating twice the revenue, making the company twice as much money for no raise for the same pay. So making the company $100 an hour for $20 an hour, he's going to be making the company $200 an hour for $20 an hour. So instead of getting 20% of the pay, he's only going to be getting 10% of the pay now. But I get called out of line for explaining that to this moron. That son's getting taken advantage of. And doesn't even know it. And then this concrete guy thinks that I'm not being upfront and lying to him about pay when I told him, "Oh, yeah, after I pay for all this stuff, you're going to be getting paid $60 an hour." $60 a fucking hour. Come and work somewhere starting out. Your son's starting out at 20. I'm providing the same shop, the same tools for 3 times the pay as what that other company is. The other company is charging your son 3 times for a shop and tool rental and sales commission or whatever. I told him that you can get even more pay on top of that for getting your own jobs. Even more pay on top of that if you wanted to go buy your own tools, which you only need about $1,000 really. 1/4-inch impact screw gun, a 3/8 impact, and 1/2-inch impact are about the only battery tools needed. Angle grinder for sharpening tools is provided. Push mower, small equipment, lift provided. Hoist provided. Car lift provided. Other mower jack provided. Jacks provided. Air compressor and air tools provided. All he would have to basically provide to get extra 10% or extra $14 an hour is maybe like $500 or $600 of wrenches and screwdrivers and sockets and nut drivers and ratchets and pliers and channel locks and stuff like that from Harbor Freight, plus like a couple impacts or whatever, half-inch, 3/8, and quarter. I mean, not bad compared to auto mechanics. Pretty sure there's a lot of auto mechanics out there that has spent over $100,000 in tools and tool cabinets and whatever to start out making a lot less than $60 an hour. That guy talked to you not too long ago said he used to be an auto mechanic, but it's been 5 or 6 years since he was. He said he was only getting paid like $30 an hour then to be an auto mechanic, like 5 or 6 years ago. I told him, I was like, well, and of course he had to provide all his own tools for $30 an hour. I'm like, well, I'm providing all the tools for $60 an hour. He's like, what? Yeah, he's like, fuck. It's like, damn. You know, I couldn't quit being an auto mechanic after 20 years because I just got burnt out doing it, and you know, you're almost making me want to come back and do it. And it's like, I'm sure working on lawnmowers is easier than cars. So yeah, hell of a lot easier, because I work on both too. But he said his job's pretty easy. It's just kind of drive around delivering boxes. Or, well, not delivering boxes, but he just drives around town and delivers stuff or whatever for $18 an hour or 20. No, he said he makes like 20 or 22 an hour currently at his job, but people there start out at 18, he said. And it's like, yeah, if you have your own tools, and that 60 turns into 75. And if you want to open up your own location, then that all turns into like $135 an hour. Plus commission on parts. It's all spelled on the contract. It's all up front. It's all right there up front for them to see. Like, look, whoever does this gets paid this. Whoever provides this gets paid this. If you want to provide it or do it, you get paid that money. If you want me to provide and do it, I get paid that money. It's right there in the contract. It's all up front. I have no clue in hell why this guy is saying I'm not fucking up front, or I'm out of line for being up front. Said that you can't get any employees. I told him, well, maybe you need to be up front with your employees. Maybe they know you're charging $100 an hour or more, and they're only getting paid $20. Why don't you tell them why they're only getting paid $20? Why don't you be upfront about? Well, you tell them that. Well, you're finding the job, so you need to get paid this percent for getting the job. You're doing the office work, so you need to get paid for this for the office work. You're providing liability insurance, work comp, so you need to get paid this percent for that or this fee for that. You're providing the tools and the truck and whatever, so you need to get paid this fee or this percent for that. Like I told them, why don't you be upfront with your employees? Instead of just telling them, well, you're getting $20 an hour, even though I'm charging $120 an hour. And not telling them why you're getting that much, because they don't know about all these expenses and fees. They think that all that stuff's free, or costs pennies on the dollar what it actually costs. So they think you're just shoving $100 an hour in your pocket while paying them 20, so that way you can go buy more mansions and more Ferraris. So they're not going to slave away doing concrete work while you go buy more mansions and Ferraris. When in reality, you're barely breaking even. But they don't know because you're not being upfront with them like I am. So I basically told him it doesn't sound like he has the right mindset for this type of thing. And I also told him that, like, well, how about I be your employee? I've done concrete work before as a teenager. How come I be your employee? Pay me 50% whatever you charge the customer. You give me a company truck to drive around all day long and take home. You pay for the gas. You buy the tools I use. You help me do the jobs, or I help you do the jobs. You get the jobs. You do the office work. You pay the insurance. You pay work comp for me. You pay my taxes. And give me half the what you charge the customer. If that's what your belief system is, I told him. Otherwise, shut the fuck up, I told him. I told him basically either give me half the money and provide everything, or to admit that he's charging me rent for, or commissions for what he provides. Well, he refused to do either or. He refused me to hire for 50% of the gross labor charge to help him on jobs, and he refused to admit that he is charging any kind of rental fees or commissions for getting the jobs, for providing the tools, or doing the office work. He refused both, and then said I'm out of line. I just told him straight up how it is. Like, are you providing tools for free or not? If you're providing tools for free, if you're getting jobs for free, not charging employee sales commissions, then give them the 50% pay and the two of you go do the job together. Otherwise, if you want them to work for less than 50% fee, admit that the reason why you want them to work for less than 50% fee is that you're charging them rent for your tools, or a sales commission for you getting the job or doing the office work. Can't have it both ways. Can't have a chocolate cake with no chocolate in it. I can admit that you're charging a fee and deducting it from the labor charge that the customer's paying before you pay them their wage, or whatever, or else don't deduct it in the first place. Pay them the full amount that the customer's paying per man hour. I think he's out of line. I think he's a dumb shit that don't know better. Five sons and not one works for you. Why is that? Maybe it's because they think their dad's a moron. But that's my opinion. But then I might be out of line. Thanks for watching or listening. It's been Joe Smith. Sign out.